Hey, this is Mike with Per Project Insurance Agency. I'm going to talk to you about what is general liability insurance. First, let's talk about what it covers. It covers bodily injury and property damage to a third party. There are some supplementary coverages available, but for the most part, you're buying bodily injury and property damage coverage. And so that's what we're going to talk about in this video. These injuries or this property damage can result from your ongoing operations. Could also result from your completed operations. Here's what general liability is not. It's not tools and equipment coverage. You need an inland marine policy for that. It's not going to cover your commercial vehicles. There are separate policies for that. And for your injured employees, you're going to want to have a workers' compensation policy. There are 15 standard exclusions that are in all general liability policies. We're going to go through those one by one. First of all, insurance is for accidents. It's not for things that you expected or intended to happen. You can't just go out and assume liability in a contract and expect it to be covered. Contractual liability is excluded. However, there are a few exceptions to that, particularly indemnification agreements. Those are a very important part of construction contracts, and those are considered insured contracts. Does not cover any liquor liability. It's not going to cover, as we already said, workers' compensation or employer's liability. You want a workers' comp policy for that. It's not going to cover pollution coverage. Now, there is a limited amount of coverage for pollution in your general liability policy, but for pollution coverage, you're going to want to get a commercial pollution policy. Aircraft, watercraft, and autos, those are all covered under separate policies. On your mobile equipment, it will cover your liability while you're using the equipment on the job site, but not if you're driving the equipment down the road or in transit. Does not cover acts of war. And on the property damage exclusion, let me explain, that's excluding damage to your property. It's not excluding damage to a third party's property. There is coverage for property damage to a third party. Does not cover your work or your products. And what I mean by that, it only covers damage that results from your work or from your products. It does not cover damage to your work or to your products. Finally, the last three exclusions. It's not going to cover property damage to property that was already damaged. It's not going to cover your product recalls. And then finally, they do exclude the personal injury, but then they do end up adding that back later in the policy. So there is personal injury coverage in the policy. For an instant quote on general liability insurance, please go to glquote.com. We have instant online quotes, or you can call us at 888-269-09.